Hey guys, and welcome back to ReFactorissimo with Arumba. How's it going, man?
It's going good. I'm so excited. Are you?
I've got a big smile on my face.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Because we're not desyncing. Why aren't we desyncing?
We fixed it.
Did we?
We fixed it. The royal we. we probably done like...
We as in not us at all, because we didn't do anything, really.
Yeah. Well, I like to think that we, and mostly you in this one, is the project manager. You got the smart people together and they fixed it. Yeah.
So between the last recording session and this session, we got together because you were there, and
I was
to be funny or something, twice. I tried to get together like all the people that know the most about mods that I could think of that are like what I consider to be really clever, really smart people. So we have a crew right now, not to be confused with my other crew. I shouldn't use that term because it's going to confuse people. But there's a group of people. Just as an example, we got Archangel, Irindel, Magma McFry, Nexala, Nilaus, Prime Dead, just a bunch of really smart modders, and did it like a desync bugging stream, and within 12 hours, figured out what was causing the desyncs, found out that it was a vanilla bug. The vanilla, the developer guy was like, "Why are you teleporting fire? Like, stop doing that." But then we explained that no, there's a reason for it. And then they found that it's actually not teleporting fire, which you're probably wondering what? You guys weren't teleporting fire. Yes, we were. The AAI Programmable Vehicles mod was using some sort of invisible fire entity to teleport vehicles around kind of a little bit sometimes. And
so they could get pollution, light, and sound all in one thing, because the only entity that does that is technically, the only entity that does that is fire, or rather, the easiest entity to get to do that is fire.
Yeah. So, long story short, if you teleport fire from one chunk to another chunk, it creates a bad game state. And every time we would add a mod thinking that, oh crap, now we're desyncing, adding this mod has ruined everything. No. What it was is actually, I would load the game, a vehicle would be just driving around willy-nilly, and before Stejo could join, it would cross a chunk boundary, the fire entity would get teleported, my game state would be considered bad now, and then he would join after the fact, and our desyncs would start because my game state was different than his game state, and it could never get rectified. But what was really interesting is that it was actually a, what's the term? It was a deterministic thing. Yeah. So long as, like, if I were to host the game, pause the game instantly before any vehicles could move at all, which, why isn't there an option to start the game paused, please? But
we've been bugging them about that since like 0.12.
I know. Because it can cause a lot of issues, right? Because it'd be a whole lot easier. Like if you had the same save file as I do, why do I have to send you a copy of the save file, right?
Yeah.
If we could just start the game paused, we both have the file, we could load instantly. But anyway, whatever. That's beside the point at this point. So the issue would be that if I had just paused the game, then you would join, and we would deterministically both be in a corrupt game state equally, which is fine. Which is why sometimes we were able to play for like 5-6 episodes straight. It was only ever when we would rehost and enter that bad game state limbo.
Yeah.
But it's all fixed now because Irindel, the mod maker of AAI, is awesome, and Magma and Nexala and all those guys. So anyway, we get to play Factorio now without complaining. Well, we're still going to complain.
Yeah, there's a few issues we're having UPS wise.
With
AAI.
And just because I don't want anyone to miss this because I think it's hilarious, there's a current bug in the version we're playing. We're not going to try to abuse it or anything, but I'm not going to desync you, don't worry.
You better fucking not.
Hey, look, this hauler has no fuel. It has no fuel at all. I still command you to drive over there. And it says, okay.
Sure thing, boss.
So yeah, whatever. There's a few minor issues, but hey, at least Stejo's not desyncing.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, we're having some UPS issues because the base mod limits the number of structures that basically all these structures do stuff every tick, and that's great if you want stuff done fast. But some of it there's no need for it, and also it's an update every tick for every structure, and we've got roughly about 50 structures.
Yep.
So the base mod basically turns it so that only 5 structures at a time, or only 10 structures at a time, can do anything on tick.
It is actually 5 right now.
Yeah. So we upped that to 1,000.
Because we're sadistic, but also because we're not going to actually use 1,000.
Yeah,
we just don't want that to be a gate.
Yeah, we're going to be careful with them. But most of these setups are very inefficient. So, as you can see, this zone remover uses 2 tile scanners and a zone controller per zone that it wants to remove, and that's all well and good because it does its job and it does it very quickly. But it's total overkill because most of it is updates for the sake of updates. Like, it doesn't need to be going that fast.
Yeah.
Because once it goes through the zones, like, the zones don't get removed that quickly.
Yep. Like, for example, if I, real quick, if I just use yet another, the resource monitor mod, and I go sample, like, the Bobmonium down here, and we create a new one, I mean, this thing's going to take, what, 6 hours probably to deplete? Actually, at this rate, it'll be infinite because there's nothing actually being mined.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so theoretically, you probably only need to even check to remove those tile indicators, like, what, once every 20 minutes, maybe? Like...
Yeah, the main one's probably the trees, because they get removed pretty quickly. But...
Oh,
so
by the way, there's a bug, by the way. We have to always make sure that the hauler that is picking up the wood from the guy... We need to name him, by the way. What's the name of the guy that goes and kills trees for us?
Jeff.
Jeff. Okay, so when Jeff...
Has to be.
If Jeff's inventory gets full, he will still, with reckless abandon, murder all of the woods. All of it.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying last night.
Yeah, so we don't want to, like, kill all the trees without at least getting the wood out of it, because we did... unfortunately, I did agree to not use the charcoal burner mod. So we actually do need wood for circuit boards and stuffs, and we're gonna need to go find coal. But anyway, so I interrupted. You were talking about trees.
There is more coal quite close. Yeah, so trees is probably the main one that will need to be removed quickly, but it's not that big a deal.
So you got something new.
Yes, I spent ages making something. Well, I say ages. I spent ages fine-tuning it, basically because I didn't realize just how much I was getting fucked by the fact that some of them only update once every X number instead of on every tick. So when you try to do really fine decider combinators and like different circuit wizardry, I've got combinators telling it to do stuff on the tick, and then it wasn't doing it, and I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? But it just turns out that it's because that wasn't chosen, that scanner or whatever wasn't chosen to be the one that's allowed to run on that tick. Right,
because we have specifically, right this moment, we have 49 entities that are trying to use this tick handler, and the last recording session, only 5 were actually even allowed to run on every tick. So yeah, I guess that means there's what, a 5 in 49 chance that your setup was even allowed to try, and so you were getting really confused.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it would work intermittently.
So I made something absolutely beautifully that worked almost perfectly. And, well, it should have worked perfectly, but it wasn't. And that's because of this this weird tick thing. So now that that's sorted, I can now paste this, and you can see it, and it's beautiful, and I'm so happy with it. But I'll explain it when I actually pop it in. Okay.
Yep.
It's even got lamps for you, Arumba. And the lamps are just they basically show off what it's doing at any set time, just so that you can...
And does it have like a big thing, like a big S for Stegio?
For solar. I need lamps though. Oh, have you got some? Nice.
Of course I do. I light the factory. You never seem to light the damn factory. I always light the factory.
Okay, so I feel like we can connect this left-hand side up to the power now, as long as the right-hand side isn't. Because the right-hand side's causing issues for all sorts of different reasons.
Alright, I'll wire up these.
Oh, have you got copper? Nice.
Of course I do.
Alright.
I'm good. Oh, nice. So you can actually see it. It's actually ticking through.
Yeah, so you can see what ones are getting used and things.
Why is the first one not turning on? First lamp.
First one?
First lamp never turns on.
That is?
No, it's not.
This one I'm standing beside.
Alright, okay. It's so brief, I think that for a moment there...
Oh, it's it only turns on if it finds okay, so it only turns on if it finds a coal with that number, if that makes sense. Actually, no, it should just only...
It's turning on sometimes and some... I thought it was just going to like show like left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right. But for a couple times there, like the leftmost lamp wasn't turning on at all. So I got the impression that
I don't think that's an issue. If you press Alt and have a look at the actual blue lights on the combinators.
Blue lights on the combinators? Oh, you mean turn off detailed info. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, sure. Just out of curiosity, does your screen look like mine right now? Do you have the detailed info where you can see all the signals and stuff?
Yeah.
So a bunch of crazy stuff everywhere right now. Cool.
Yeah, I kind of need it for doing what I do. So, okay, so I'll tell you what we've got. We've got a clock at the top here. Right, you with me?
Sorry, you broke up a little bit there.
Oh, we've got a clock at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So basically this, it ticks up to...
Counts.
Yeah, it ticks up to 20 ticks. And then this one, actually, let's make it slower so you can actually see what's happening. Okay, so... Oh my god. Are you placing... What are you doing?
I'm cleaning your power
fixing
poles.
my power poles. I thought you would.
you didn't think I would. Come on, be realistic. You knew
I knew you would.
See? I told you. I
Wait,
told
what's
you.
this one? That one's ticking on 9. That shouldn't... Well, that should be ticking on 9, but that should be 180.
Okay, so real quick, just... I mean, I do know somewhat about this stuff, but just in case other people don't as well, and because I could use the refresher course, a clock in this case, you've taken signal T with a constant combinator, so every single tick, which is 60 times per second, it is outputting T1. T1 goes into a decider, which says if T1 is less than 180, so you've decided, what, 3 seconds?
Well, yeah, that's... I've got it at 3 seconds just now, just to... just so we can display it. It's actually 18 ticks, so that it flicks through them a lot quicker.
Why'd you decide on 18?
Because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 actual items here.
Mm-hmm. So why not 9?
Because you can't divide by 1.
Okay, so it increments, it outputs the input count, you've wired the green back in, so it counts up there, and then it resets, and then T divided by 20 is doing what again?
So T divided by 20 is chopping it so that it pulses a set interval.
Yeah,
so
I see it going.
So that's a pulse generator.
T2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that goes back down to 1, 0. So you've actually got only 8 right now.
That's because it's an array and it's it starts at 0.
How come I don't see a T0? Or is it just T?
There is, it's right. That's right where I'm standing.
But that's the thing. I'm not seeing it ever just say T with no number next.
Oh well, it doesn't.
There
It never does. It can't.
Gotcha.
You can't have a 0 signal.
Okay, I'll stop interrupting. Go.
So then each of these is set to a specific pulse. So when T equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 8, and then on the 9th pulse, which is only ever present for a single tick, is when the incrementer comes in, but I'll talk about that in a second. So on the 9th pulse, actually no, I'll talk about it fucking now.
When T equals 9, output a green signal to a arithmetic combinator, which takes the green signal and adds the black signal. Where's the black signal come from?
It comes from this combinator.
Right next to it, yep, sure.
And then that is, and then it's looped so that this is given an upper bounds before it resets. So that's how many zones that it's going to scan. So if I change that, you see that 100?
Yep.
If I change that down to 20, then that'll only scan from zone 1 up to zone 20 to see what ones are used. So it doesn't cycle through the entire amount of zones, but considering that most of our miners, etc., use just zone 1.
Wait, when you say zone 1, are you talking about like number of tiles designated or like a specific zone? I don't understand zone 1 through 20. What does that mean?
Okay, so if I put a green box down here, this is the first zone that was ever placed of this green box.
Uh-huh.
So that is known as zone 1. And then that one would be 2, 3, 4.
But if I do this, is this zone 5 now, or is this zone 6, 7, 8, 9, 10?
That's
6, 7, 8,
5,
9, 10,
6,
11.
7, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay. And what happens to the array if you delete them? Do we go back down, or does it constantly keep going up and up and up and up, the newest
No,
one?
it goes back down. So if I remove zone 1 from
gotcha.
here, then zone 2 is now zone 1, zone 3 is now zone 2, etc.
Is there a way to know the total number of designated tiles right now?
Yes. So if you see the output from the zone scanner, you see that little grey signal. It says quantity of type signal.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you how many zones there is if you pump a zone into there.
Yeah, okay. Output signals 7.3K. What is 7.3? 23K, 7.2K, 7.3K. That's big
What's
numbers. On the output signal of the signal output terminal of the zone scanner. It's like changing constantly, but it's...
Oh yeah, if you click on it,
Mm-hmm.
then it'll just give you like whatever it was that you clicked on. If you look at the first one, it says quantity of type signal. It's the little grey one.
29 of that type, whichever one it was checking right then.
Yeah, whatever zone it was checking, that's how many there is.
So you don't have to worry about it being like we could still theoretically have 5,000 Sapphirite tiles designated, and it would be fine. It's just finding the first 20, which are actually probably the most likely to be depleted, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's smart.
And then
I like that.
and then it cycles back through. I could have it set up so that it. Except what? Sorry.
Sorry, still interrupting again, as always.
That's all right.
And thinking out loud. Except, if I understand correctly, if we did theoretically have 5,000 Sapphirite tiles, and your scanner right now deletes the first 20 that it finds, it's not going to move the array, right? Isn't the next placed one going to like fill in the gaps, or does it actually move the array
shifts.
down? It does
all
shift
shifts
back.
down.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, otherwise the newest Sapphirite would end up being at the front, which would be bad, because now it's checking the newest ones.
No, always shifts it down.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so this basically will cycle through all of them at quite a speed when I actually turn up the speed.
And if we had performance issues, we could just actually let it run this slow, right? Or does this
no, because it's still running once per tick. So if we had performance issues, I'll show you what you do. You see this first one that goes up to 180, and it's divided by 20, which is what gives us the number of ticks.
Yeah.
All you need to do is make that up to 360. And then you'll see there'll be a load of ticks where there's no lights turned on at all. So the scanners just aren't doing anything until it flips back around.
Yeah.
So that's like a pause time. So it's now not scanning for half the time.
Because T less than 360 divided by 20 means that there's a lot of T's that are getting converted into numbers that are never used. But I thought that the zone scanners themselves, they're still functioning all the time, aren't they?
No, they don't function unless it's getting something. The zone scanners in particular don't function unless they're getting a signal.
Okay, cool. So you could even just tell it, I want you to run like 15.7% of the time. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't need the artificial limitation in the file because we can tell it how much to run.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're almost to the end of this whole newfangled thing you've made, right? The arithmetic combinator, this is where you're isolating just the XY coordinates, right? And we've actually asked, and I think it's possible that maybe this will happen soon anyway. You had to use two combinators here to isolate XY so that you're not sending all of this jargon out into here.
Yeah.
Why was that though? Why do we not want to send all of it?
Because it sends, like this only takes XY coordinates, the tile scanner. Like that's all we want to do is scan those tiles. So we need to scan the tile to see exactly what that tile has.
Will this break everything if I just demonstrate though? Like if someone tried to just do this with red wire, why is that bad? Why do we need these two combinators to isolate the signal? Because it still has the XY with the red wire, right?
It shouldn't matter, actually.
But Magma,
really
the Factorissimo guy, said that sending superfluous, like sending lots and lots and lots of signals is a performance thing, and it was causing issues for him. And so there may come a time in the near future where we'll be able to do something like open up this side, the signal input terminal, and just say only tell me the XY.
Yeah.
And then this will only say XY, and then we just connect it right into the tile scanner directly, and then that's two less combinators and better performance overall.
Yep. Okay. And then so that tells the tile scanner where to scan, and then the tile scanner goes, all right, So on that tile there is this, and basically what I've got set up is on the left hand side it's stripping out just the XY coordinates again, and the rest of these are checking to see if there are any of the resources that we're actually scanning for, and one of these is messed up.
Can I propose a slight modification without hopefully jeopardizing the performance of your entire thing?
Okay.
We know what the XY coordinates already are. Can't we just do this? Or is that going to be offset by 1? Like, why do you need to isolate the XY again if we already know the XY from the first 2 set of combinators? Can't you just carry that green signal over?
Ticks.
The tick is off by 1?
Yeah,
I think you ran into that issue once, didn't you?
Yeah, so you're sending this tick 3 ticks before it actually, like,
gotcha.
The rest of the stuff gets sent, so you'll be deleting tiles from random spaces around the place.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
okay.
Which is why it all needs to be nice and in line. So yeah, this checks to see if there's any ores in those specific chunks. It doesn't check to see if that ore matches up with what's been flagged or not.
It just clears it, which...
Yeah, because there's no need. Like, you're never going to have two ores on the one slot.
Yeah, you don't need to fix the designation. You just need to clear it and then let another entity itself handle flagging it correctly. So
yeah, exactly.
And that's why you've got zone removal. Cool.
Yeah. If an ore or something is detected, then it outputs a red signal, which is the stop signal. And if there's no red signal, this one here will output the XY coordinates, which will remove the zone.
Hey, just random thought here. How cool would it be if, with the AI vehicles mod, there was like another sister mod that you could use, like called, I don't know, random events mod, and or it's not an infinite map, but like there's like random occasions where there's like oh no, volcano, and then like new resources suddenly are found on the map, so that you actually needed to like be scanning for them. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, you need to be scanned constantly, like the migration type thing that the biters do.
Like make the map still pretty big, but make the map barren, and like you could almost like RimWorld-esque treat it like, oh no, like there's the things have landed and there's resources you can go get. You're like playing SimAnt or something, you know? Remember playing SimAnt where all of a sudden there's just a random new deposit of food and you'd have to send out before the spider would kill you?
I never played SimAnt in like so long. Like
I
think I was about 6 when I played it.
You're missing out. Missing out.
I remember SimTower though. SimTower is fucking awesome.
They're all awesome.
But yeah, so that's zone removal in 20 minutes.
Yeah, but a lot of other stuff too. Like we had a lot of things to get caught up on. I don't really feel bad about it. So
I'll probably do like a separate video explaining exactly like how to build it, because we did go over it. I feel like we went over it briefly.
It was. I actually, and this is a good sign, I think. I actually understood it all. So considering you built that, how long did that take you to build?
Probably about an hour.
Yeah, so you built something
about
pretty...
3 hours worth of tinkering because of the stupid mod thing.
Yeah, you built something pretty damn complicated, and I think it was very understandable. It's just the wrong belt, actually.
And I like the lights. The lights, they show you that it's working, and it's kind of nice.
Yeah, well, the lights are a very small touch, right? You didn't have to...
Yeah, they don't even need to be there. Like, I could just remove them. So yeah, so that's that, and then I've got something for the zone marker, but I don't really like it. Basically it checks to see how many tiles it's scanned within the radius, and once it's scanned every tile in that radius, it just shuts it off.
Okay. Well,
probably good.
Yeah. So one of these days we're gonna do some stuff in Factorissimo buildings. But
yeah, we might do. Yeah. But this is the fun part. These dirty little bastards.
We really should like officially like rebrand the series into like ReFactorissimo AI. Like just it's definitely become a hybrid between the two. It is not just Factorissimo, which was the original thought. We actually were just thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna play Factorissimo, and then there was like a side thought. Maybe we should try out AAI again. Maybe it's multiplayer compatible now. And turns out it is, so.
Kinda.
It is, no, it is. Well, it wasn't. Now
now it is, yeah.
So, all right, well, we gotta put a cut, and we'll be back in 12 hours, because we've gone to 2 day, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Real
All right.
cool. All right. Well, as always, I've been CG, been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See you soon.